freaking out. That's awesome. It's good. It's good. Good afternoon. It is Wednesday, July 17th, 2024. I'm Mayor Chris Martin, calling to order the regular session of the Board of Public Works and Safety. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance. Roll call.
Adrian Grant.
Here.
Chris Martin.
Here.
Jacob Palmaso.
Here.
Start with the approval of minutes for the July 10th, 2024 meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Call for question.
Jacob Palmaso.
Yes.
Chris Martin.
Yes.
Adrian Grant.
Yes.
Next is the approval of claims for $420,355.25. This includes claims for $113,687.37. TIF Industrial Park claims $17,583.86. TIF Downtown claim $29,042.65. TIF Combined claim $76,102.94. Grant claims $31,433.39. BCA grant claim for $825. Trash claim $111,680.04. And resolution 2024-130 for $40,000. I'll make a motion to approve the claims as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call for question.
Chris Martin.
Yes.
Adrian Grant.
Yes.
Jacob Palmaso.
Yes.
All right. Any public comment? Anyone? All right. Come to the mic. State your name and address for us, please.
My name is Dave Kitchell, 1423 North Street. I'm appearing today out of concern for the kids using the Bird scooters. And as you have maybe heard or not heard, Bird has filed for bankruptcy protection because of the number of liability issues that they have with the personal safety of their customers. And I think this is something that we got on board with that a lot of communities did. We were not the only one to do this. I'm not blaming you solely, but I do think that there's a lesson to be learned from this, and that is that we're kind of giving them a license to go out and hurt themselves by doing it. A lot of times parents or grandparents just give them a credit card or do it for them as something they want to do. But they're getting on city streets. We need to regulate this a little bit more tightly than what we're doing. And I think to have a requirement that they wear a helmet is the minimum thing we need to do. The age requirements, whatever else, I mean, some of that is already being addressed, but from a public safety standpoint, and you are the Board of Public Works and Safety, this is a huge threat to our young people. And this time of the year when they're out, but they're out when it's dark, early in the morning, when it's late at night. I've seen them out after midnight around Riverside Park. I've seen them a lot of different places. And this isn't being regulated by parents, and it's not being really enforced by the city in any way because there's nothing there to enforce. So I think we're going to have a discussion with parents, with groups, and with this board, and maybe the City Council Public Safety Committee on what needs to happen from an ordinance standpoint to find young people that are out doing this. And I don't know that Bird has the capacity to regulate themselves. That's where my concern is. To draw a parallel here, when we're licensing our taxis, we have a better impetus in place to stop people from giving unsafe taxis on our streets than we do for kids to go out with a piece of steel in the middle of the night. They can run over a rock or a stick in the road, and there's a lot of branches down right now, and flip themselves off and kill themselves. And this is why Bird is in bankruptcy right now. They've had too many of these kinds of incidents. So I think we need to reflect on what this is, and probably suspend this practice until we can get a handle on what's going on and what we'd like to see happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? No? Seeing none, no old business, on to new business, contracts and agreements, Dykeman Excavating, change order number 19. Mr. Cuppy.
Yeah, number 19, going for a record. With that, all change orders get approved by you. Just a quick summary of what that is. when we have a public bid, they have to provide a surety bond for their work. And when they submitted their bid originally, it had a set amount premium on a surety bond. With all these change orders, the premium went up, and that's outside of the scope of the bid. Therefore, we had to pay it, so it's been approved to pay. So the funding's there. It's just we need contract amended and approved to reflect change order number 19.
All right. The RDC did approve the $3,305.82 to be paid from the Consolidated District TIF Fund. This was Resolution 2024-333. All right, I'll make a motion to approve the contracts and agreements for Dykeman Excavating's change order number 19.
Second?
Call for question.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Jacob Palmaso,
Yes.
Chris Martin.
Yes. Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Next up, Mount Hope Cemetery's monthly report for June 2024. Bob?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
At Mount Hope Cemetery, we maintained the cemetery and equipment as needed, took care of 13 burials, 2 traditional, 11 cremations, sold 2 graves, and drove 932 miles with 259 hours were mowing and used 427.7 gallons of fuel to get all this done.
Very good. Yeah, a lot of grass
Oh my.
to deal with.
And trees.
Yes, and trees, yes. I'll make a motion to approve the Mount Hope Cemetery's monthly report for June 2024.
Second?
Call for question.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Chris Martin,
Yes.
Jacob Palmaso.
Yes.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Next up, Parks Department monthly report for June 2024. Jan?
We have been very busy.
Yes.
So I'm going to start, we have received 2 proposals for the RFP for the clubhouse, both from our Yoder Construction out of Napanee and then Shepler Construction here in Logansport. We met last week and reviewed the proposals and scored them, and Shepler Construction was the company that we're recommending to the Parks Board to enter into negotiations and whatever with. So more to come on that, but I guess that's the first public announcement you've heard, so I think. So all shelters are completed that we've been building this summer. There was 1 at Bishop and 3 at Spencer. They look great. They're just beautiful, so I'm really happy with those. The urban park, we are just waiting. We're working with utilities to install lamp posts and electric pedestals, and hopefully that'll be done in the next month or so, we hope. And then we are working with Tom Partridge and Vicki Lebo to do historical displays in the depot, and we're looking forward to seeing what they're coming up. Our first event is held on September 7th by the Roosters, and at some point the management of the whole park will be transferred over to the parks at some point. That'll probably be August, we think. So the Dykeman Pavilion restroom is progressing about 50% complete. Actually, the actual structure is completed. So now we got to build the restroom inside and all that goes along with that. So we've had to change our summer programming a little bit, but we're still having very good participation in our pop-up art classes and drop-in sports and park in a box. Walking club has been a little slow, but it was before when we've done it before. So we had our dive-in movie on the 22nd of June. About 40 people attended. We also had a Firefly Walk here at Houston Park, and it came out pretty good too. And we did put a new drinking fountain at Little Turtle Waterway on the west end of the plaza, and so that hopefully the people will appreciate that. And we've had some broken showers at the pool. We got those fixed, and we did begin regular Tuesday morning maintenance at the Wright Street Bar Park. So it's something that we had planned for, but that's what we did get that done. So we've moved the stage, it seems like a half dozen times. We moved it out for Squeal on the Eel, out and then back in, and then back out to France Park for their event, and then for July 4th, and then back to the fairgrounds for the fair. So it's had a busy month. So I have been able to do tours with 3 of the council members of the parks, kind of inside, behind the scenes kind of stuff, and those were well received. And then I've met with Logan's Landing director and executive director about the Christmas tree lighting event to go around that brand new Christmas tree that we're going to be getting. So the golf course is up 93 season tickets and $1,400 rounds. That means people that have season tickets. And then 600, almost 700 daily rounds of people paying for it. And that's up over last year. So we're very pleased with that. Our rentals this year so far are about half where we were last year. We're right where we should be. So, I mean, it'd be nice to be more. And with those new shelters, I expect some more rentals here, actually.
Exactly.
And then we have gone 4,932 miles this month and had 380 gallons of fuel. So, anyway,
There you go.
how's that?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Busy.
Very busy, yes. All right, I'll make a motion to approve the Parks Department's monthly report for June 2024.
Second.
Call for question?
Jacob Palmso,
Yes.
Chris Martin,
Yes.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Thank you, Jan.
Thanks, Jan.
Thanks, Jan.
Next up is the Street Department, City Street Closure Request for Zagajewski Construction, Ottawa Street from 6th Street to Michigan Avenue.
Yeah, they have to get a crane in there. They're moving a dust collector system, so they'll have to shut it down for just one day.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the City Street Closure Request.
Second?
Call for question?
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Chris Martin,
Yes.
Jacob Palmso.
Yes.
Next is applications for curb street cut. For NIPSCO 4034 Mike Anderson Lane.
In the right of way, not on the brand new road.
Yes. Thank goodness. All right. I'll make a motion to approve the applications for curb street cut for NIPSCO at 4034 Mike Anderson Lane.
Second.
Call for question?
Chris Martin,
Yes.
Jacob Palmso,
Yes.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Yeah, Mayor, I'd like to also just
Yeah.
reiterate how proud I am of the work my crew's done in the last week, and especially in the last couple of days. We had a number of trees that were on top of cars that they were able to remove without doing any added damage to the vehicles. Just Monday night alone, we had 12 streets that had trees blocking them, and as of today, I think maybe one of them has not been cleaned up. It's off the road, but all the rest of them have all been cleaned up. They've just done a tremendous job the last few days.
Absolutely. I agree. Yes. Thank you,
Thanks,
Tony.
Tony.
All right. Next up is Code Enforcement's weekly report. Randy? Good afternoon.
Last week, we sent out 22 violation letters. I had 8 properties that were cleared, still have 38 that are pending. Sent out 1 citation, did 1 property cleanup, did 5 trash container warnings. So we had the 1 notice to appear. We brought 2 more properties in, had 1 more property cleanup ordered. The notice to appear was sent for 610 Plum Street last week. We tagged 5 more vehicles. Had 4 that were cleared. Had 35 first notices for grass last week. Had 3 that were cleared from the week before. 11 second notices sent out. We had 3 that were cleared from the week before. And we had 5 properties that went to the permanent mowing list last week.
Okay. Very good. I'll make a motion to approve the Code Enforcement's weekly report.
Second?
Call for question?
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Chris Martin,
Yes.
Jacob Palmso.
Yes.
All right, next is a request for property cleanup or multiple violation properties. This is for 1710 High Street. Is there anyone here to represent 1710 High Street? Hi, can you please come to the mic, state your name for us, please? And this is for an appeal.
Erica Gutierrez.
Okay. All right, Randy, go ahead.
This was started in as a call and complaint on 5/28. We sent the initial violation on June 6th. At that time, it's already been twice that we tagged this property this year. So we did set it as a multiple violation to bring in. And when we got in here, we decided to put a $500 fine on top of it as well.
Very good.
Okay. I got a letter to come on the 3rd, I believe. But it says that if, well, my understanding was that I didn't have to appear if it was taken care of. And that's why I didn't appear in July 3rd. And it was already cleaned by that time.
It was cleaned by the 1st when I checked it, but our multiple violations letters do state you have to appear to speak for your property. Our notice to appears do state that if you have it cleaned up beforehand, you will not have to appear to contact the office. But when it's a multiple violation, it states you need to appear.
And that was my mistake because since I've done those before, I probably didn't read it all through. And I thought, oh, it's just clean it up. And if not, I do have to show up. That's why I called and I made the appeal.
So I guess well, the reason why we have the appeal process is for that, to get you in, give you that second chance to come in and talk to us. So ultimately, we want to just know if this is not going to continue.
No. I already talked to my tenants. I have really good tenants on the downstairs, the upstairs. I'm not saying they're bad. It's just that I think there's language barrier. They're from Haiti, and they are not very fluent in Spanish. Just have not very fluent in English. But I think it's just a miscommunication problem. But I have explained to them, if I get these fines, you're gonna be responsible for that, and hopefully that's gonna help take care of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Randy, was this was in response to a complaint, or was this just kind of a?
The second one was in response to a complaint where the trash bags have been setting out for weeks and hadn't got done. And we gave them actually like 14 days to try to get it tagged, get it cleaned up. And it hadn't been done, so that's when we sent the multiple violation.
So I think just for our purposes, more frequent checks of the property just to make sure this isn't happening. Typically, after the trash day is when he gets over there, and so if you go the morning or the evening after trash is supposed to be picked up, and you see something like that, you can almost guarantee that if it gets picked up at that time, you'll never have to hear from him.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to get to is,
And part of it is too, is when we're looking at the multiple violations now too, since we're able to actually track the outstanding balances, like from a previous violation, if the previous one's been ignored and hasn't been paid, we're not gonna be as lenient on the second one when we bring it in.
Correct.
So like in this case, neither one of the notice to appear fines have been paid when we brought it in. And as of now, they're still setting. So there's still $100 for each one, so there's $200 in fines that are setting.
yeah. And so the $500 is something that can be appealed, and that's what you're appealing today. The other notice to appear things.
I will take care of that. Actually, I was gonna do that before I came here, but they're closed. I didn't know they were closed during this meeting. But I can take care of that, no problem.
Okay, that would be great. And yeah, we're just saying we don't want your money. We just want this to not have to happen again. And so
As bad as it sounds, a lot of times it takes the threat of the fine in order to get some cooperation for us to know what's going on with the property, so we don't have to go back to it.
yeah. But ultimately, I think we really appreciate you coming in and taking the opportunity to appeal and come in and talk to us about it, because not everybody takes that opportunity either. Some people just completely ignore it, and so we appreciate you.
And I understand that. I'm using the same thread with my tenants, and I think it's working.
There you go, see? Yeah. So ultimately, are you okay with removing the $500 fine with no new violations within a 6-month period? Is that something we can do?
Yes.
Okay. So I will make a motion to approve the appeal for 1710 High Street with the conditions of no violations in the next 6 months.
Awesome.
Second? Adrian? Second? All right. Any further discussion? Call for question.
Jacob Palmasull,
Yes.
Chris Martin,
Yes.
Adrian Grant.
Yes.
All right, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Randy.
All right, board member comments. Adrian?
No. I don't have anything. I was gonna say, I do appreciate how hard they've been working to clear the roads. I mean, they've done really well. And to get power back restored.
Yes.
LMU.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to touch on the public comment piece from Dave, I'm looking, I don't think we have any bird scooters operating in the city currently, and I don't think we have for quite a while. So anything that's out there is most likely privately owned and, purchased for the kids by their parents or their friends. So definitely, issues as far as, enforcement being out late at night, those are things that if somebody sees that and is concerned, please call dispatch or something like that to have somebody take care of it. But as far as the bird issue, they haven't been in town in quite a while. So I had to download and update the app to just check on the map real quick to make sure I wasn't speaking out of turn. But yes, and then, on the same note, kudos to the street department and, our emergency responders and everybody that gets out there and make sure that we keep functioning after something like this. So it's noticed that they do an awesome job.
Very
awesome
much.
job.
Very
Yeah.
much so. I actually received an email today. I would like to praise the outstanding response and work that your street department did removing 3 downed trees from the front of my property on High Street the early morning of July 16th. The street department first responded at 1 a.m. to clear the traffic hazard and then returned promptly at 7:45 a.m. to remove the remainder of the trunk and brush that was on the sidewalk area and blocking my driveway. The crew made short work of a job that would have taken me and friends the better part of 2 days. A quick sweep of the sidewalk and you would never know there was an event. In fact, my wife and I have noticed in the past few years that the street department has done an excellent job, not only with storm response, but weekly compost bag collection, curbside brush, fall leaf collection, and of course, the city street snow removal. So, there you go, Tony. Thank you so much for you and your team for doing an excellent job. Really appreciate that. All right, miscellaneous business and any matters not already considered, including ADA Section 504 compliance or concerns. Seeing none, I'll make a motion to adjourn at 3:22 p.m.
Second.
Call for question.
Adrian Grant,
Yes.
Chris Martin,
Yes.
Jacob Palmasull.
Yes.
We are adjourned. Have a great day.